This shit is not a game, man. Lock yourself in the house with the money. Nobody don't cut. No new money. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch no new money. We ain't going back, blood. We been broke, we ain't going back, blood. One thing for sure, one thing for certain. How they say I make niggas gonna jump over the gate for this shit?
The rapper accused of stealing more than $1 million through unemployment fraud and bragging about it in a music video has agreed to take a plea deal. Memphis-based Nuke Bizzle, whose real name is Fontrell Baines, is facing a maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison. Baines boasted about getting rich off fake COVID-19 relief funds in a music video he posted on YouTube.
Hey, Trey, look like a lick. Yeah, whole gang going major, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, nigga, 6 years work.
Bill, tell them what we got going around this motherfucker, B. The whole team winning.
This is the Bizzle family from Memphis, Tennessee. And that man facing 20 years for fraud is just one brother. Because while Nuke was making national news for bragging about stealing from the government, his younger brother Bake was setting up a robbery that would end with a man's body dumped behind a dumpster in South Memphis. Stay with me because this story goes deeper than you think.
It's Bill.
They like, hey, what's up with Bake? He back home off that case. He must ran out of cake. Why you stirring in my plate? Nigga, stand on what you said.
What? No presenting, man. No game. Fuck you talking about? This that rig keep for the little poop put. We out here on South Baby Drive with it. Doing what the fuck we want to do, how we want to do. Living in them motherfucking track.
To understand how we got to a dead body behind a dumpster, you first need to understand where these brothers came from and what kind of world shaped them. Because none of what happened in 2020 came out of nowhere. Prentice Baines, born around 1995 on Tate Street in South Memphis, is the man the rap world knows as Bake Bizzle. Tate Street is deep in South Memphis, the kind of neighborhood where you grow up fast or you do not grow up at all. By the time Bake was a teenager, he had already been moving in the streets for years, learning how the game worked from the men closest to him.
Man, you been hustling your whole life, bro. How long you been hustling, bro?
I really been hustling probably since I was about, really hustling probably about 11.
He says it the same way someone might tell you when they got their first job, no shame in it. He got the game from his father and from his oldest brother, Fontrell Antonio Baines, who the streets know as Nuke Bizzle.
Come on, bro. Who you get the game from, bro?
I actually got the game from my dad and my big brother.
Mm-hmm.
The free Nuke Bizzle.
Free Nuke.
Free Scat.
Yes,
free
sir.
Big Bizzle. Yeah, free all Little Ricky, all my brothers and everything. There's a lot of them. I ain't just gotta say a lot of names.
Right there, you can already see the pattern. Before Bake even finishes answering a basic question about his childhood, he's already calling out free names. People locked up, people gone. That was just the language of the life he was born into, where the men who taught you things were usually somewhere behind bars. Bake had been arrested over 7 times before he ever caught the murder charge, mostly small stuff he could walk from quickly by posting bond and getting back to the streets. In his own words, jail was never really a place that scared him.
Man, that jail, you been going to jail your whole life?
I ain't gonna just say my whole life. I ain't no really violent person or none of that. You know, I'm chasing my money.
You a hustler, bro.
Hustler, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like come with the hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably went to jail probably like 7 times out of my whole life, and most of the time I used to go to jail and go on bun out.
Now, alongside all the street stuff, Bake was also building something real on the music side. He took the name South Vegas, which came from all the time he was spending bouncing between Memphis and Las Vegas, running operations on both ends and making money wherever he could find it. When he came back to Memphis, he dropped a song called Los Memphis, and the neighborhood ran with the South Vegas name immediately.
So what is the South Vegas? We're gonna get straight to it. Where did the South Vegas come from?
You know, South Vegas came from me, so I really dropped a song named the John Lost Memphis. When I like the Lost Memphis, everybody like, let's jump bumping this and everything. So they really I really ran with it anyway, but everybody else was just running with the flow like, yeah, this South Vegas, man, we like that. And the hood's just been turned up just ever since.
Young guys from Tate Street started getting South Vegas tattooed on their bodies. Merch came out. The name moved through Memphis rap circles like wildfire. His album, Mr. South Vegas, ended up on Apple Music, and tracks like Run It Up built him a genuine local following that no label had to manufacture for him. He was doing all of this without a major deal, without a big cosign, just off the strength of who he was in that community and how hard he moved. Now, the older brother, Nuke Bizzle, was doing his own thing during this same period, except Nuke's thing was a lot messier. Nuke ran a fraud scheme during COVID-19, made a whole music video about it, and uploaded it to YouTube with the title EDD. He then sat on camera holding up envelopes from the California Employment Development Department while rapping about getting rich off fake government unemployment claims. The video passed 1 million views before the federal government knocked on his door.
Nuke Bizzle, as I told y'all, is a rapper. I repeat, Nuke Bizzle is a rapper. Let's go to CBS LA for the report, please.
The Department of Justice says a rapper who bragged in a music video about getting rich from an unemployment scam is now facing federal charges. According to a criminal complaint, 31-year-old Fontrell Antonio Baines exploited the pandemic unemployment assistance provision of the Federal Coronavirus Act. He applied for more than $1.2 million in jobless benefits. Federal officials say right now he lives in Hollywood Hills, and in a video, he bragged he's going to get stacks of these while holding up envelopes from EDD.
When police pulled Nuke over during a traffic stop in Las Vegas, they found 7 EDD debit cards belonging to different people in his car, plus oxycodone and a gun. The gun charge alone was a serious problem because Nuke was already a convicted felon, meaning he was not legally allowed to hold any kind of weapon. He had filed 92 fraudulent unemployment claims using stolen identities, which added up to over $704,000 actually stolen and over $1,250,000 attempted in total. The Breakfast Club broke it down simply.
Last talk here today for Monday, October 19th goes to a young man named Fontrell Antonio Baines. True, but sometimes that reason is simply because you made a poor choice. And Nuke Bizzle absolutely made a poor choice. A couple poor choices. See, Nuke Bizzle was arrested after applying for more than $1.2 million in jobless benefits and using stolen identities in a scheme to fraudulently obtain unemployment insurance benefits. Now,
In December 2022, a federal judge sentenced Nuke to 77 months, which works out to just over 6 years, and ordered him to pay back $704,760. Based on that sentence, he's not walking out of a federal prison until sometime around 2029. So one brother is in federal prison for bragging about robbing the government on YouTube. Another brother, Cat Bizzle, whose government name is Prentice Calvin, is out here in South Memphis moving with Bake. And somewhere between all the music, all the moves, and all the talk about South Vegas, something went very wrong on Havana Street, and a 30-year-old man from Mississippi paid for it with his life. On May 17, 2020, a man named Joseph Buckley III got in his car in Newton, Mississippi, and drove north towards Memphis. Newton is a small town about 150 miles south of Memphis, and Joseph was 30 years old at the time. He was carrying $25,000 in cash inside a Fendi bag and believed he was on his way to buy a large amount of marijuana from a seller he had been texting with. That seller was Bake. What Buckley did not know was that there was no marijuana waiting for him. According to police affidavits, Bake had been steering Buckley towards Memphis through a series of text messages the whole way, including dropping a pinned location that brought Buckley to a side street where Bake was parked and waiting in a red Dodge Challenger. When Buckley pulled up to that first location, Bake told him the product was somewhere else and that his brother, Prentice Calvin, who was also known as Cat Bizzle, would walk him to where everything was. The new address was 1577 Havana Street in South Memphis. Buckley drove to Havana Street with the Fendi bag and at least one other person with him. That is where Cat met them outside and offered to walk them in. The group followed Cat toward the back of the building, through an alleyway, past a large dumpster sitting against the wall. The moment Buckley cleared that dumpster, Gunshots rang out. Buckley was hit multiple times, fell right there behind the dumpster, and died at the scene. The Fendi bag with the $25,000 was gone. This was not a deal that went sideways because someone got nervous. This was a planned robbery from the very beginning. Bake brought Buckley from Mississippi with a fake deal, changed the location by text to control where Buckley would be, and used his brother to walk the man straight into a kill zone. The $25,000 was the whole point. The Memphis Police Department opened an investigation immediately after finding Buckley's body. The text messages between Bake and Buckley were recovered and became the foundation of the entire case against both brothers. A witness who had been present at the scene identified Bake and Kat Bizzle in a 6-person photo lineup and described in detail what each of them had done. When investigators brought Bake in for questioning, he confirmed that Prentice Cawthon was his brother and that Kat Bizzle was his name in the rap world, which was exactly the connection detectives had already drawn from the evidence. Now, from May 2020, when the murder happened, to September 2021, when the brothers were finally arrested, over a year passed without any charges being filed. That is not unusual in Shelby County, where serious felony cases often sit for stretches before prosecutors are ready to move. It also takes time to build an airtight case with witness statements, phone records, and physical evidence all lined up correctly. When detectives were finally ready, they moved on both brothers at the same time. On September 3, 2021, Bake and Kat were arrested and charged with facilitation of first-degree murder in the commission of a robbery. Bond for each brother was set at $250,000. Bake could not get out, so he sat in Shelby County Jail for 14 months while his case moved through the system. At some point during those 14 months, the initial charges were resolved in a way that allowed Bake to walk out without a conviction. The case did not go to trial, and no jury was ever sworn in. No final judgment was formally entered. Because of that, prosecutors were still legally allowed to bring the case back, since under the law, double jeopardy, which is the rule that says you cannot be charged twice for the same crime, only applies after a jury has actually been sworn in or a formal judgment has been entered in a court. Bake thought he had beaten the case and walked free. What he had actually done was walk out into borrowed time. He came out of jail and did what a lot of people in his position do. He got back to the music, started moving in public again, did interviews talking about South Vegas and his plans for the rap game, and carried on like a man who genuinely believed the worst was behind him.
I'm gonna put my all into it now, cause that's the route I want to go. I'm gonna hustle with the music. That's really what I want to do for sure.
If you can talk about this, what you went to jail for, bro?
I went to jail for first-degree murder. Yeah, like I don't know how I did, but I went to jail for first-degree murder.
Yeah, you innocent, basically.
Yeah, I'm innocent, all the way innocent.
That's hard.
I actually beat my charge and everything. It's just, you know, they got double jeopardy down here, so they picked the charge back up. I actually still fighting the charge right now.
Oh, for real?
He really believed that. And while he was out on bond talking about buying an AMG and hitting the jewelry store, investigators were still working the case in the background. On May 8, 2024, MPD came back for him with upgraded charges, first-degree murder and aggravated burglary, not facilitation anymore or a lesser charge. MPD said they had identified Bake as the primary suspect in this case from the very start of the investigation back in 2020, and the rearrest was the result of years of continued work building the case against him. The aggravated burglary charge connects directly to what happened on Havana Street, where Buckley was deliberately brought into a location under false pretenses and robbed of everything he had carried up from Mississippi. As of April 2026, there has been no publicly reported trial date, no plea deal, and no sentencing in the case. Bake remains in Shelby County custody while the case sits in pretrial, moving through a court system that a 2025 state report described as carrying 52% more felony cases than it had before, and over 350 people waiting to be processed at any given time. By the time Bake Bizzle was sitting in Shelby County Jail for the second time in 4 years, it was clear that his story was not really just his story. The whole Baines family had been moving on the same road for years, and nearly every brother old enough to carry a rap name had ended up in a courtroom. What makes their story stand out from the regular rapper gets arrested stories is not just what they did, it is how badly they helped the people coming after them. The internet started calling the Baines family one of rap's dumbest crime families, and as harsh as that is, the evidence they left behind makes it very hard to argue against. Go back to Nuke one more time. The fraud scheme alone would have been enough to put him away, but Nuke did not stop there. He went into his studio, recorded a song bragging about it, shot a whole music video on camera holding up the actual government envelopes, and uploaded the finished product to YouTube. When that video crossed 1 million views and federal investigators showed up at his door, they found 7 EDD debit cards belonging to different people in his car, along with oxycodone and a firearm that he, as a convicted felon, was not legally supposed to have anywhere near him. Every piece of evidence the government needed to convict him, he had either put on YouTube or left sitting in the front seat of his car. Then there is Cat Bizzle, Prentice Cawthon, the brother who allegedly walked Buckley straight to his death out Havana Street. Cat was charged alongside Bake in September 2021 with facilitation of first-degree murder and had his bond set at $250,000 as well. What happened to Cat's case after that has not been publicly confirmed or reported in any available source as of April 2026. And then there is the youngest, known on the streets as Little Squid. He is tied to a street gang called AOB, which stands for All Off the Blade, operating in the same South Memphis neighborhoods where the whole family grew up and ran things. In 2022, Little Squid caught a charge for attempted murder after a shooting involving a rival, and on top of that, a separate charge for having a machine gun, specifically a Glock with a switch, which is a small device people use to turn a regular pistol into a fully automatic weapon that keeps firing without stopping. He got 2 years in 2023 for the gun charge, which means depending on when you are watching this, he's either just finished that sentence or is close to finishing it. The gang ties run all the way through the family's world. In June 2024, Memphis PD ran an operation called All Off Boyd, targeting AOB in South Memphis, and walked away with 12 arrests, 13 seized firearms, including several with switches, plus drugs and cash. The Baines brothers were not specifically named in that operation, but the streets being targeted were the same streets they called home their whole lives.
Several alleged gang members arrested during a multi-agency law enforcement sting in an effort to clean up part of South Memphis. Good evening to you. I'm Joy Redmond.
I'm Joe Birch. The operation was called All Off Boyd, as in Boyd Street, and it targeted members of the so-called All Off the Blade gang, or AOB. Action News 5's Stephanie Douglas shares what local location was targeted. Stephanie.
Well, Joe and Joy, the operation targeted gang-affiliated individuals in 3 areas off of Tate Avenue and Boyd Street. The results, multiple felony arrests as well as the seizures of guns and drugs. These gang-affiliated individuals you see were arrested on June 7th as a part of MPD's Code Zero Operation All Off Boyd. Memphis police says those suspects and more have made Tate Avenue and Boyd Street a hub for gathering, planning, and executing criminal activity. At any given day, Memphis police says crowds of 40 people would take over the block, brandishing guns, engaging in illegal activity, and creating an environment of chaos. In the last 3 years, 340 calls have been made to Memphis police for disturbances and shootings.
Community members have suffered for many years, been held hostage in their homes in fear of gun violence and some have been victims themselves.
However, the all-off Boyd operation, a collaborative effort between MPD, multiple law enforcement agencies, and the Shelby County DA's office, resulted in 10 felony arrests, 2 misdemeanors, 13 seized handguns, 2 seized rifles, 3.7 pounds of marijuana, 12.4 grams of meth, 429 pills of ecstasy, 2 seized vehicles, and over $4,000 seized.
Most of the gang members arrested in Friday evening's operation had a variety of active warrants and/or were persons of interest in multiple crimes over a period of several months.
Memphis police says this operation's focus was to take back the streets that belong to good neighbors who deserve to live peacefully.
We sincerely hope that those community members are feeling and seeing the difference in that community.
Well, Memphis police says this will be one of many operations that they plan to conduct. Meantime, 8 out of the 12 arrests made in last Friday's operation have already posted bond. Live from the Crump Precinct, I'm Stephanie Douglas. Joy, Joe, back to you.
Now, here's the thing that people keep missing when they talk about this family. Bake Bizzle, in that interview he did while out on bond, does not come across like a cold or heartless person. He actually sounds the opposite. He talks about sending money to roughly 20 people who are locked up and says he will send it to anybody who calls his phone, whether he knows them well or not, because he knows how hard it is inside.
Every time they call my phone, I just make sure I send them well they talking about, because they send, I just call, but on hand right now, I'm probably about 20 people in right now. Just 20 people. Just
on the money.
On the money. Cause what you got going, send me this, go this and that. You know, and all type penitentiary, federal, county, you know, everywhere right now.
And you been doing this for a while.
Like before I went in, it was just the people that I hang around when I was, you know what I'm saying, to go in. But now it's just bro. It ain't no thing. I ain't even gotta be hanging around you. And when you was out here, as long as we locked in front of the hood or anything like that, you good. I got you. I ain't gonna lie.
He talks about wanting everyone around him to be richer than he is, about being a provider, about loyalty being everything.
Yeah, like, you ain't no iron team.
Man.
Yeah, ain't no iron team. I want everybody around me for sure to be richer than me.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's
how I really want everybody around me to be richer than me.
Bake said something in that same interview that keeps coming back to every time I think about this story. He was talking about Memphis rap having a real spotlight on it right now, about the city being ready for somebody to step up and run with it. And he was right about that. The timing was real. The opportunity was there. He just could not use it because what he did on Havana Street in May of 2020 was always going to find him. It just took 4 years to catch up.
It's the perfect timing, bro. I'm telling you, it's the perfect timing, bro. Like, everybody get money.
I'm
cameraman,
everybody,
producers, rappers, managers, assistants.
It's serious.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? My assistant riding that shit. Yeah, man. I'm part of it. Yeah, man. But yeah, bro, it's the time when you one of them niggas like the city just fuck with you.
Yeah.
When they see this type of music this type of beating where niggas gotta fuck with you.
Yeah.
They gotta like you.
Man, what you said?
My nigga don't like you, ain't gonna bat nothing.
And I'm a people person. So
there you go. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't got no ops or none of that.
You did?
Like, I really can do what I really want to do out here. Yeah, and then I hang around none of my bros really. So I ain't really worried about all the other stuff.
You know, switch it up like that.
Yeah. I got enough brothers really to be my own gang, but it's a family thing. Yeah?
Nah, for real, for real.
What do you think about the overly obvious decline of this family? Let me know in the comments section. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this one. See you in the next one.